Hi, it's Mark at Saw Sharp. Today I'm going to show you how you can make your own 18-inch saw filing vise for parts that will cost less than $100 through an online hardware store that you can source like McMaster Car, and most likely supplies that you already have in your own shop. The only major piece of equipment that you'll need to use this vise is a mechanic's vise that you likely already have, something with somewhere around 6-inch jaws. 8 inches is better, 4 inches you can work with, somewhere in that 6-inch range. Not only can you sharpen the tooth line of your saw with this device, you can also completely disassemble a backsaw using a sawback lifter to remove a traditional folded sawback from the saw plate. Not only can you remove the sawback, you can remount it once you're done sharpening the plate. You can even secure a loose clicking handle by securing the plate in the angle iron of your assembly and lightly tapping the nose end of the saw back toward the handle. This closes up the air gap that often develops during winter time when the cold, dry air shrinks wood and loosens up your handle. So closing up that air gap is the better part of tightening up a loose handle instead of trying to destroy your fasteners, making them tighter. Here's the list of materials you can go to an online hardware source like McMaster Car. Note the URL in the upper right hand corner of the slide. These materials won't cost you more than $100. Get the 36-inch links, cut them in half to make them 18-inch links. You may need to buy the lift bar in an 18-inch. I like cutting that down to 14 inches. You've got cork rubber. Get the kind with the adhesive backing. You're still going to adhere the cork rubber with 3M spray, but I find the double duty of the adhesive backing and the 3M spray, adhesive spray, works quite well in securing this cork rubber onto the metal pieces. So far as equipment you may already have, most of us have a vise, some sort of mechanic's vise. Good to have one with 6-inch jaws. I've used this assembly before on 4-inch jaws. What you're doing is you're extending the jaws with an 18-inch pair of angle iron. Okay, that's what turns your 6-inch mechanic's vise into an 18-inch saw maintenance vise. You likely already have a mallet. If you don't have any 3M adhesive spray, you can find that at a local hardware store. Same thing with the X-Acto knife, alcohol, 3M scrub pads, mill files, they're everywhere, paper towels, plastic sheeting. When you are gluing the cork rubber onto the metal, you want to be able to secure that in your vise with plastic sheeting, like a plastic bag or just a sheet of plastic uh, that goes in between the pieces so that the adhesive doesn't bleed through and glue everything together. So there you have your supplies list for this project. Now, using your mill file, you're going to deburr all the metal components. Following that, strip all the grease, any contaminant off the metal with alcohol. You can also use rifle bore cleaner. I just prefer heavy duty strength alcohol. Spray the pieces down with your 3M spray. Mount the adhesive backed cork rubber on it. Trace it out with an X-Acto knife for a precise fit. One point to mention here on your lifting bar that you see on this slide, you're going to want to take a metal cutting blade in your jigsaw and run a 6-inch line, a 6-inch kerf up and centered up one end of that lift bar. That's what's going to trap your saw plate and enable you to lift that saw back off the saw plate. Take care not to use this method on any static back saws that have the plate fitted and glued into the saw back. This process only applies to back saws with a traditional folded saw back that are sprung onto the spine of the saw plate. As you're gluing the adhesive cork rubber onto the angle iron, don't take the easy way out and just roll it over the corner. It will never stay. It will pucker and come loose. Trace it with your X-Acto knife and get your cork rubber to match at a right angle like you see in the lower left-hand corner of this slide. Now that you've deburred, cleaned, kerfed, and adhered the cork rubber on all the metal pieces, here's how you use it. Note the assembly cinched up in my mechanics vise in the lower left-hand corner of this slide. You have your C-clamp securing the end of the flat iron pieces, which capture your saw plate. The jaw extenders, that's your angle iron, that stabilizes everything and makes this plate rock solid and vibration free so that you can sharpen your plate. And as a saw maker, I have gone through entire distributor orders of saw plates, sharpening them using this system. It's simple, rugged, puts away quite easily, does not occupy a lot of real estate in your shop, and it's just a bomb-proof method of holding your saw plate while you're sharpening it. One of my most favorite modes when using this assembly is tightening the handle. During winter time, the cold, dry air, wood shrinks. You get a little air gap between the back edge of the saw back and the back wall of the mortise and the handle that receives it. Um, and you can close up that air gap simply by securing the plate and using a light duty mallet, tapping the nose end of the saw back toward the handle, closing up that air gap. And that is the better part of getting rid of a loose handle. You don't want to just crank on your fasteners. You can split the wood or you can deform your saw nuts. So doing this procedure first and then gently tightening up the fasteners is all you need to do to get rid of a clicking loose handle. And there you have it. 5 pieces of metal, some modest skills, some cork rubber, a couple of 1-inch C clamps. You're in business. Taking your saw completely apart, cleaning it, putting it back together, tightening your handle even, and sharpening it. It's a very useful system, all for less than $100. You got this. Now, go out there and make it happen.